What's going on, everybody? Cloud here from Moon Will and Magic, and today we are going to be talking about writing your own spells. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so before we get going, I just want to give you a little update of what's going on. I know I haven't really been posting a whole lot of videos of merit, short of a few tag videos over the last couple of months. That is because I have dove in head first on this pagan rap project that has spawned from the Wicked Music Experiment. So, to be honest with you, I can't believe that it's actually happening the way it is. And I have been very blessed and very humbled by the process of everything that's been going on with it. And I've also been very humbled by a lot of the feedback that I've been getting from everybody, not just on YouTube, but on Facebook and the Facebook page. I've been on the website, and, you know, all of that. And I gotta say, you know, it's really awesome that. All right, so let's go to the story before I get into all that. Okay, so I did the first pagan rap song, and then I said, okay, I'm going to do a couple more. I did a couple more, and then I started really having fun doing it, right? So then I made like 4 or 5 more, and people in my cover were like, yo, you should write 10. Like, at first I thought it was a joke, and the whole pagan rap thing started as a joke, and then it just kind of started moving forward. And yeah, so here we are. One night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting around and I was kind of a little bored, and I was going through my music and I was listening to a couple of the tracks that I had made, and I was like, you know, these are pretty good. Why the hell not? So I sent them to a couple internet radio stations, pagan radio stations, and a couple of them actually got back to me and have been playing it regularly in their playlist. And I cannot thank them enough for that. KPPR, Pure Pagan Radio. I want to thank you guys really for being the first radio station on the internet to be like, yeah, we'll play this. This is good stuff. Let's play it. And also, I can be heard on the Cauldron Radio as well, and thank you to them as well for, you know, posting up my songs on their playlist and having that in the regular rotation. That's super awesome. Now, I did get a lot of no's back too, but there's another radio station which is planning on putting my stuff up. We're just waiting on communications and all that. You know, people are really busy when they run a radio station, so we're being patient with that. But yeah, seriously, KPPR, I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. But so I hear the music on the radio for the first time, right? And I'm completely flabbergasted hearing my own voice coming out of, you know, out of my phone, because I was at work when I heard it. And I was very, very, very blessed. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit. I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome, you know. But it also reminded me, like, dude, if you're gonna do this and you just put it up and you're just playing on the radio, then you got to do it. You know what I mean? So I have refocused my energy from YouTube into doing this project, and well, I should. You know, if I have music that's going to be getting played on the radio and people are going to hear it, I should probably have more than 2 or 3 songs for them to hear. So I decided, screw it, I'm going to make an album, and I've been doing so. And you guys know I've been dropping breadcrumbs about the album throughout the last few months, and it's looking like I'm going to be independently releasing that in April-ish. I don't have an exact date, but when I do release it on that day, I am going to hold a live stream listening party for the CD, where we're going to sit around and listen to the CD, and then you guys in the chat can ask any questions that you have about, you know, what inspired me to write this song or this lyric or anything like that, and then we can go over those, and I can talk to you guys about the process and what I planned on, you know, like what inspired me to write this particular song about this particular thing. And I think that would be something really cool. And I think for you subscribers out there who wanted to check that out, by all means. Also, one more thing before we get going on our little topic for today. We are sitting at 174 subscribers. Now, I know I said I wanted to hit like 500 by the end of the year, but come on, let's be honest here. You know, especially if I'm going to be finishing up this project and taking a little break from YouTube for like another month or two while I put the finishing touches on everything. I just want to make sure I get it to the finish line, you know? We're going to ratchet that goal down a little bit, but I still think we could do 300 subscribers by the end of the year, and we are currently on the race to 200 right now. We are 26 left to go. So if you guys like the videos that I posted and all that stuff, go ahead, share it out there, and let's try to get this thing going. We want to help out, right? So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get to the topic now. Thanks for my little 5-minute rant. Appreciate you listening. So, do you write your own spells? Comment below if you do. I personally write my own spells, and the reason why is very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate witchcraft. Okay? I write my own spells because basically you get more power and more energy out of the spell when you break it down from scratch and you come up with everything yourself. Because by doing that, doing the research and figuring out what kind of corresponding herbs or crystals or whatever it is that you want to use for the spell, if you use any at all, it puts more energy into the actual spell itself. Now, when I write spells, I usually write them down on a sheet of paper. You know, I always start with the intent. What is the intent of the spell? And here's the thing, right? And this is another reason why I prefer to write my own spells as opposed to like working out of a spell book or finding spells on the internet, especially spells on the internet. When you're working with a spell book, those spells are generally really well written, and they are generally put together for specific purposes. And I'm not knocking anybody out there that writes a spell book and publishes it and all that, because there are witches that prefer to do their magic that way. I just don't personally myself. Now, I will take something from a book and modify it to make it my own from there, and not do it verbatim to how it's written. I will do that from time to time, especially if I like hit writer's block while I'm writing a spell. I will like kind of look around for some inspiration, and I'll kind of go back through my own books and go through my own grimoire, you know, and be like, all right, what did I do last time I wanted to do something like this? But for the most part, when I'm going to do a spell, I write it from scratch right then and there. So sometimes I'll have done a spell for healing for a friend or healing for a friend's mother or something like that, and I've already written 20 healing spells, but I write a new one every time I go to cast, and it's just how I personally prefer to practice. Now, you got to be careful when it comes to finding spells on the internet, okay? A lot of times when spells are written on the internet and they're found on the internet or whatnot, you're not really sure where the intent is coming from when it was written, and it really depends on what you have going on at the time, what you have available at the time. You know, like if you find a spell on the internet that you want to do, or a spell in a book, as you say, that you want to do, and you don't have all the components on hand to do so, well, what you gotta do? You have to go out and you have to buy the components for the spell, right? Well, I'm broke. I don't know about you guys. So I tend to work with what I have on hand at the time, so I'll write my own spell. It just goes to show, you know, however you prefer, if you prefer to have more components and all of the trimmings, if you will, or if you propose to do like a bare bones basic spell where you are just sending it out, you know? Now, internet magic And let me just say right now, if you are paying somebody to do a spell for you on the internet, there is a 70% chance, probably higher than that, but I'm going low because I don't want to offend anybody, but there are people out there who are just taking your money and sending you an email saying they did a spell. If you want to believe that it works that way, knock yourself out, but you're most likely wasting your money. So, not saying there are people legit that do stuff like that out there, because I do know a couple people that actually will cast a spell. You know, just like I know a couple people who sell crystals who actually put them out in the moonlight to charge them on full moons, you know? Like, it's... You gotta do your homework on who you're making purchases from if you're going to do it that way. And rant. Okay, so... let's make sure I got that off the chest. So, writing spells is as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. Alright? When I write my spells, I tend to keep them simple. If I'm writing a spell for the coven, I will overcomplicate it a little bit because we're a teaching coven, and I want people to work with more corresponding items. But when I'm doing one just for myself, it's usually just like scratched down on a sheet of paper and thrown in a folder after I perform the spell. And usually there will be like a candle involved, or, you know, something really simple, some black cording or some white cord, whatever color cording. I like working with cord a lot, and I like working with candles a lot. Don't we all? I am working on getting a lot of like herbs, like a very large herb sampler right now, so I'm going to start doing a little more green witchery from there, but that's down the line. But we're talking about spellcrafting in itself today. Now the question at hand was, do you write your own spells? Alright? And I hope that you do, but I'm also not going to knock you if you don't. A lot of people don't have time to write their own spells, especially people that are like super busy, work 2 jobs, or have, you know, a bunch of kids, stuff like that. So sometimes you do need a reference to find something kind of quick that you can work with from there, and then do whatever you can to make it your own from there, however it is you feel to do it. Alright? But just remember, when you're doing spells in general, right, you don't need to do everything specifically as it is written, unless if you write it yourself. If you write it yourself, you want to do it specifically how you wrote it, because that was the intent at the time that you were putting on the paper. But if you're, you know, looking one up on the internet, you can make some tweaks here or there and make it your own. Another thing that people will do is people will take little bits from circles that they go to. For example, one of our common members at our emote ritual really did an excellent job writing a spell that we all did together for a protection spell. And we all have like a little piece of paper with a rune on it, sword basically, that we can use as protection at any time. Whenever we see fit, we could just recharge it, pull it out, feel the energy off of it. Very well written, right? He wrote it himself, but there is definitely, you know, aspects of things that he's done through his search through witchcraft that have added to it. And it was a very eclectic spell. It was also very well written. A little complicated, but that's good because we like to teach. So I was very proud of him for that. I'm not going to name him because he doesn't like being praised. But I'm sure he's going to watch this. So good job, buddy. I know you're going to get mad at me for that, but whatever. So basically, just to break it down, spellcrafting, the more you put into writing a spell, the more you're going to get out of the actual practice of the spell. That is just how I see it. You can be practicing for 20 years and still working out of a spell book that you had years ago, or your grandmother's spell book, or however it is that you do it. Awesome. You know what I mean? However you do it. I'm just talking about how I do it. And I also teach to write your own spells as opposed to you know, finding and performing spells. Putting in the work to figure out what kind of items to use, or, you know, how to make sure that you have your intent of your spell written out in a manner to where it's going to work for you without affecting a whole lot of other things around your particular spell is very important. Now, I could sit here and talk about this process for hours. I'm sure I could. But we're coming up on time on the video. So, if you guys want me to make a tutorial video on how I craft my own spells, and maybe you want to check and see how I do things, and maybe you want to incorporate that to how you do things, by all means, let me know in the comments below, and I will make that happen for you. I will make a video doing so. You might wait a week or two for it, but it will come, and even if one person asks for it, I'll do it. Alright? So, recap. I'm probably not going to be shooting a whole lot of videos right now until I finish the album and get the finishing touches tweaked on it. And then don't forget about the live stream. Alright? Kind of like throwing a little CD release party without having an actual venue to do it, because, I mean, let's face it, I don't really know how this is going to go, but I'm going to release a CD anyway, because why not? Check one off the old bucket list, you know? And yeah, let's see if we can't get that subscriber count jumping up a little bit too. So, you know, by all means, share this video, share any of my other videos, share my music if you want. Definitely, I hope you guys have enjoyed the background music that's been happening. It's just a few random songs. All of these are on YouTube. You can check them all on my channel as well. I'm not going to link all of them because there's like 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, but definitely reach out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you write your own spells and why you write your own spells if you do. Or if you don't write your own spells, why don't you? So, yeah. Till next time, guys. Cloud with Moon Willow Magic. Bright blessings. And blessed be.